What's up, support fibro friends? Hello, hello, hello. I just wanted to be sure to jump on here, say hello, do a very random chat. So I've been working pretty hard, doing a lot of coaching lately, trying to do some business services for support fibro. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So I didn't get a chance to really prepare, and I'm trying to adjust my microphone so you can hear me better. But I did want to jump on for a live to check in with all of you, see how you're doing. So if you're out there tuning in live or even watching the replay, give me say hello, leave emoji, let me know how you're doing, post any questions that you may have as well related to fibromyalgia content. We have exciting things coming down the pipeline, which has me working pretty hard, and I'm trying to do dual tasks with health coaching work and just balancing act right now. And, it's always like some of the similar topics that keep coming up, even in my coaching groups and stuff that I struggle with. Stress. Oh boy, like that was the pillar last night for some of the coaching groups that I was doing. We were talking about stress. If anyone out there has some good tips or things that are really helpful for managing stress, do give me a shout out because I need more of that in my life and grounding exercises. And just to even give me an example, logging in here, I was all ready to get on. I was pumped. I got my coffee ready. And then I try to log into StreamYard and to connect. And it's like, you are not connected to your accounts. So I'm like, oh, and then I have to log in because I guess with anyone watching on Facebook, Facebook logged me out. So I have to remember the password. So you're going through and then you have to reconnect. And I was struggling to reconnect. And I have limited time because my dad likes to play with Toby in the house. So you hear all this noise and I'm like running. I'm like, can you wait to play so I can get some good audio? So again, it's like all of these compounded stress. And if anyone can relate to me with all the rolling stress, that domino effect, like one thing here and you have to like take care of the other thing, how do you manage? How do you get that stress? And even like trying to learn, I did a few breathing exercises before I jumped on, but it was still a lot. So this is why this video is fibromyalgia randomness. And that's what I'm calling it because I love chatting with all of you. I love checking in with all of you. So I wanted to make sure I did that and had enough time to do that. And just check in and see how things, because these topics are coming up as I go through some of the coaching groups, and go through all of the work that we're doing. And when it comes to health and wellness, hello, Barbie. How are you? I missed the advocacy. So if you have, I don't know if people can still sign up, Barbie, but if you do have a chance, definitely post the Facebook event, or I'll do it later to link over to the work that you're doing. I missed the class last night because I'm coaching, but I want to catch up on the recorded information. So Barbie has an advocacy class currently taking place, and we're learning from her quite a bit. So how to write a bill and doing state legislation. So I'm just learning that process, and I'm going to be going back through the content. Definitely we'll add a link there, and actually shoot, I should have prepared that too, to add a link to the Facebook event. So if she's going to host another one, or if people can still join, that would be awesome to know. Because when it comes to the advocacy and other things, I do also want to give a shout out to Patients Rising. The fall application is now open as well. So I'm going to post that link for everyone for the master class. So the fall master class is open, and you can learn a lot about healthcare policy with the Patients Rising Now class. They've also opened up this Patient Action Center that you can check out the resources to if you want to get in contact with legislation. And they have certain things that they're supporting. And this is part of the masterclass series. You learn a lot when it comes to different healthcare policies, like learning about ICER, copay accumulators, and other information. They do talk about advocacy on the Hill, and even virtual advocacy on the Hill. It's been a great learning experience. I was in the inaugural class, and I'm also a moderator for Patients Rising in the group. So I love learning from different chronic illness groups that come in, and a lot of advocacy is being done. And the whole theme of it too is how we can join up in different communities to support legislation that involves all of us. So I know here at Support Fibro, we do fibromyalgia focused advocacy, but we are like and support advocacy and other things, especially chronic pain. But there's other avenues when it comes to like health insurance policies, medication access, like any of those things. It's definitely part of the process to support other groups and getting involved with advocacy at different levels. Okay, so she'll restart. Thanks, Barbie, for posting that, for sure. Because I mean, restart the course, that would be awesome. So we'll definitely promote more on Support Fibro, and if anyone's interested, to take that class, it's wonderful. You're gonna learn a lot from Barbie, in the advocacy realm, and I actually can't wait to continue my learning and going through the recorded video that I missed last night. Thanks, Barbie. She posted the link to the event for the Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can tune in to just look at the details for that and she'll restart it. And then if you are watching on YouTube, I'll be sure to post the link over so you can gain access to that as she promotes as well, because that is a great thing to learn. It's just a great learning environment if you're interested in doing more advocacy. We get a lot of questions on state related advocacy. So this is your learning opportunity to put it out there because they know what we do when we go to Capitol Hill. We're focused fibromyalgia federal advocacy, but we do get a lot of questions on state related advocacy and people that want to do campaigns for other things and they don't want to necessarily focus on fibromyalgia. So these are great opportunities to tune in. So definitely get yourself registered for Barbie's class. Get registered for the Patients Rising Now. You'll definitely learn quite a bit. And these are great opportunities that we love to share with all of you. But let's continue with our randomness because I know with all of this and stress, anxiety, and things that jump up. And so that's stress. So anything, tools that are useful, which kind of ties into the flares. Boy, like there's a lot of heat waves going on across the country. How is everybody doing? The group I was working with last night was a rheumatology group from Texas. So that is it's hot in Texas right now. Lot of flares happening. How are you managing flares? What's in your flare toolkit? Share with the community. If you're watching the replay, continue to share. What do you like to use for your flare toolkit? Do you notice in advance? And this is an interesting concept of creating awareness before you actually go into a full-on flare if you're already aware of things that create flares for you. So if you know that heat is an issue, I would definitely have a backup plan somewhere. And it stinks too, because I think Aldi's was just having a huge sale on like box fans. And I know people have been trying to find fans right now. The box fans are battery operated fans. Maybe have those on supply, or I've seen people use those fans that are battery powered that they use around their necks. Cooling towels. That's a big thing too. I know in our gifts last year, we sent those cooling towels that you kind of wet and you can put around your neck just to provide some extra cooling. And then I was watching a van life video and this woman had a cooling blanket, which I wasn't aware of, but she puts it on because it does get hot in the summer where she was parked and living in a van life. She puts it on her to help prevent from like getting too sweaty. So she had a cooling blanket, which I didn't know existed. And I'll have to do some more research about that for maybe if it's useful for anyone just in regular occasions, because I know even when we sleep, I've heard from people like temperature changes, we tend to have blanket on one side and our foot sticking out because we're trying to regulate temperature. So I was just wondering if like if people have a specific cooling blanket which was really interesting that they used, or other ways to keep cool. um Yes. Okay. So Ken uses those cooling towels. Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't even, Barbie, I wasn't really even familiar with it. I think I had, come across people that had used it before, but I never tried it. And it was super, super helpful. Um, and then what do we do with these power outages and heat storms? Well, Arizona seems to have stuff together, but I've heard like with Texas, with Texas and California, our power grid, we really, really struggle. So I'm not looking forward to what this summer was going to bring. and what you've heard. But Barbie, have you heard from other people? Are they doing okay out in all these like heat waves and those things that are happening? Because it's you have to just manage the heat and humidity and all those tips and sharing together of what happens to just try to manage those flares. Because I know a lot of people are starting to flare with the heat. It's hard to stay cool. And then it's stressful too on top of it. We have a lot of stressors going on. And so then you're trying to stay cool, you're trying to manage your pain, a lot of pain, fatigue, and like, can you actually figure out where to stay cool when it comes to what's going on? And, okay, they're staying in hotels, but pets, yeah, they're having trouble finding your pets. So all of this again goes back to that accumulation of stress. So you're just adding more stress, creating a lot of more flares. And how do we like go through this? Breathing exercises. Someone suggested the Calm app. They use the Calm sleep stories, or I'm not familiar with that part of the Calm app. I know I tried using a visualization just on the free version. If anyone uses the Calm app, especially the sleep stories, please share if it's been helpful with your sleep, because just anything that we can when it comes to getting better sleep is helpful, and then also decreasing our stress. Um, so those are like things that kind of percolate when we're talking and what's in everybody's flare kit. I know I had to create a lot of awareness around what to do to kind of in the prevention of flares when it comes to ramping things up and what we can do to do that. So you become aware of what creates it. So you know if you're going to go to a certain event or you can overexert yourself, you put you in a flare. So how do you have those items ready for you? Or, you put stuff on you if it's topical creams that you like to use or something else. You might actually add those on before you go into those situations if you can, if you're doing a lot of movement or yard work or those things that add up, is creating this stuff to sort of start with prevention, but then also have those tools ready. And I would love to know what people use to remember, because I started writing things down, especially on a computer, then having it in my notes on my phone to remind me of things that I found helpful. So when I was in a lot of pain, what were the tools that I really noticed helping? Did I have to stack multiple tools together? And then I'd make sure that those were always on hand. And I would start using them earlier on to prep if I knew a situation was coming up that I was going to be really tossed into post exertion or creating possibly a flare. And that was kind of where I was trying to help myself with a flare toolkit, coming up with those useful things. But it's tricky. And I know when it comes to climate and we see storms, we see heat waves, we can't control that situation. But how can we better prepare with items in our house, making sure we stay hydrated? That's something I am personally working on too. And I noticed even being when we go visit in the state of Arizona, it can really hit you and hit you fast when you don't notice that you're staying hydrated as much as you need to. So continuously kind of just adding water, make sure you're drinking enough water to stay hydrated at these points. What are different things that you can add up? And I know Barbie is this because of the Arizona climate. Okay. Oh, Ken just said the power outages here is from, oh, wow. Yes. Well, the monsoons, I'm going to have to get used to all of that. And yes, hydration is very important when it comes to continuously staying hydrated, because it'll sneak up on you. And then I don't know if anyone gets headaches and you notice it later, or you notice it maybe down the road or later in the day. You're like, wow, I'm starting to get a really bad headache. I'm overheating, especially for some people when there's some dysregulation with not being able to sweat, you just overheat. So these are all things that we can try to like work on and build like our toolkit around. So this is some of the topics that have been coming up regularly with people asking questions. So that's why just jumping on here, polling everybody. And I'm going to try to like get into like other things too. If people want more videos, we'll be more structured, but I did want to check in with everyone, say hello. I'm glad Barbie is going to like restart and post more information on the class. So be sure to check out that class. Be sure to check out Patience Rising. We will have more information shortly too on patient advisory and what's to come up when it comes to all of the stuff at Support Fibro. I did want to talk about randomly movement. So movement comes up a lot, and I haven't, if I haven't shared with you, I did want to make sure to talk about play because this comes up a lot in the groups. And Daryl Edwards, I got introduced to him at the Dr. Terry Walls conference in Iowa a few years ago. And I don't like the word exercise. Every time it's like, go exercise, go exercise. And I think I flinch each time. I had a very negative viewpoint of exercise because I thought exercise meant going to the gym, doing those, like I had to go somewhere and everybody would tell me to do these things, yoga, Pilates, and I just never understood it. So I started to build up a very negative relationship with exercise. But when I saw Daryl Edwards speak at the Walls conference and he talked about play, it changed. My mind was blown because I didn't really think about things like that, I guess, because sometimes you get too negative with fibromyalgia, going to doctors, they just tell you to go exercise, and you're just like, "How in the world am I supposed to do that being in chronic pain?" And I didn't understand. So it would just be really annoying. But when I saw Daryl Edwards, and I'm going to post his TED Talk, so you can watch his TED Talk. And he also has a website called Primal Play. It really got me a little bit more excited about movement. And I love sharing this because we have to remember we can play, moving our bodies. We can be playful. We can dance, right? We can move. And I know Barbie out there, cheerleader of hope. So I know, and I've seen her dance in her videos. It is fantastic, right? We can have fun dancing. I can't throw on music right now because I'll get flagged for the live streams, but throw on your favorite music, figure out times in the day or when you wake up in the morning, even just doing like some stretches out of bed, like morning stretches. You wake up, if you can throw on some music as you rise if that's what, like, inspires you, but play it out, be a kid. Remember when we were kids? Well, for everybody else, when I was a kid, I was still reading my science books and doing chemistry kits, but if you played tag, hopscotch, hula hoop, anything like that as a kid, you can embrace it if you just go back to that sort of lifestyle and have fun with it. And you can do this with your family if you have kids, if you have grandkids, play a little tag with them. And this is the thing that Daryl Edwards had us do at the conference. And it doesn't matter, you can do anything seated, you can still play. But he had us imagine we were our favorite superheroes, which I love. And we did some play fight in slow motion, but you have to make sure you make noise, just like the old like Batman shows where they show pow and all this stuff. No touching, no hitting. But all of us were just, imagine your favorite superhero, and we were out there like and just swinging and pretending fight, but we were moving and everybody in the entire room was doing it. It didn't matter if we were in mobility devices, sitting down, standing up, you could see the whole room get into it. And that was like, oh, okay. I was like, "Whoa." I didn't even think about that because I just been like, "Oh, I gotta get a yoga mat. Oh, I gotta go to the gym. Oh, I gotta lift weights." Like, everything was really awful in my mind, when it came to exercise. And his video too on the TED Talks, the title is perfect, "Why Working Out Isn't Working Out." So we think we have to work out, when it comes to this, but like dancing is so much fun. And I've even incorporated it. So any of these meetings, so sometimes when I have long meetings on Zoom or I was up at 7 a.m. the past couple of days, I was super tired and sitting too, so you have to make sure to stretch. So I've planned it as I move around. It's like after any meetings, if it's like 75 minutes are usually the coaching type meetings. So what I make sure to do is I have a playlist ready to go. So at the end of it, I'm trying to create that behavior habit change where I click the playlist and just one song, right? One song, I just dance, and I can either do it seated or I can either get up and dance. But whatever I do, I just dance. I'm silly, or I can say, this meeting was awful, but I'm gonna go for it and I'm gonna be silly. Or this meeting was awesome. Like, oh, I have a headache. I can't take it. I gotta like get out of here. just whatever you have to do, or like, I'm so excited, cheering yourself on, let's go, Mel, let's do this. And you're just moving, right? So it's okay. Nobody is watching you. Just dance, dance it out, stretch, do some shoulder rolls. Like you can do shoulder rolls, roll with it. You're rolling with it. Barbie, I can't dance. I have no timing. So we'll need you in this process. I'll have to learn some moves from Barbie as I like maybe next time I'm in Arizona, Barbie, you're gonna have to show me some like maneuver some moves, dance moves where you can be on the beat because I just awful. Like I definitely you'll give me a short routine. Awesome. Because there's a lady on Instagram that I'm following. She's trying to teach anybody to dance, and you can reshare and dance along with her with the Instagram reels. And I tried doing it. I was like laughing too hard, but at least laughter is good for us too. So you can be as funny as you need to be. And like I said, it's just I've been switching out from meetings. So I've every time I have after one of those 75-minute meetings, I make sure to just move around, do some shoulder stretches, stretching it out. But I always play my music. And especially if I'm cleaning now, if I have to put clothes away, which everyone knows I'm really bad about, I play music, and it's just helping me get through the process because I'm a big music fan. So dance it, get your family dancing. If you guys have to put the dishes away in the dishwasher, throw some music or sing if you do that. Just get everybody dancing and moving around and explore some of these ideas for play. I think it'll help a lot of us that are very adverse to the word exercise and look at more of movement and having fun, being silly. We're allowed to be silly. If you're a fibro mom or a fibro parent, you are still allowed to be silly. You can be silly with your kids and they'll see it and it resonates with them. So we can also reframe that exercise doesn't have to be that chore. We don't have to go somewhere to get it done, and setting up those habits, which I know sometimes it feels a little easier. You designate a place to go, but there's so many ways that we can move our body when we're at home. And on those days where they really suck and it's hard to get up and move, find elements of things that bring us joy and see and start it. What brings you joy? And maybe this is just with your pet. Maybe you're being silly with your pet. So think about that too. You don't necessarily have to go walk your pet, but maybe if you just move around with the pet, be silly with the toy. If it's a cat, dogs, I know move a lot too. So I'll move with Toby, I'll move around, give him a little belly rub. And so I'm starting to move my body, but I'm having joy at the same time. So think about things that like you can incorporate and layer, like they bring you joy at the same time that you can move, or at the same time that you do stress reduction, and really note and create awareness on how your body feels in the end. Because I, like you just saw on camera, I was laughing at myself trying to move and dance because I know I don't have rhythm. So this is where it's just funny, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna give it a try and do that. So keep it up throughout the day, and it doesn't take that long. Like I said, I do it to one song, and then I'm back down at my computer working. Obviously folding clothes and doing that takes longer, but you can slowly incorporate it. Or if you have it set up in the morning, why not put your favorite song when you wake up in the morning and see if it shifts what you need to do moving forward. So I wanted to take that time just to share with you because these are topics that come up everywhere in health coaching. You're definitely not alone if you're feeling the effect of like, I gotta exercise and throw that on when you're feeling chronic pain, fatigue. So there's so many ways to incorporate movement, decrease stress. I know that's a big contributor for me that I'm definitely working on and trying to find some tools, better tools to do it, and finding gratitude and those ideas, and also understanding meditation doesn't necessarily mean that you have to clear your mind either if you have mind racing and stuff. And so for things like visualization exercises, I use a lot because it'll have me focus on a visual aspect, like energy moving through the body. There's some good apps or podcasts that I play. And if I get interruptive thoughts, I can always start again. So there's no rules to this. And I think sometimes we forget that. We think we have to be, yeah, clear our complete mind to just have complete silence for meditation. But it doesn't have to be like that. You're working on breath work. It could just be a few deep breaths. It could be a visualization exercise, which doesn't necessarily require you to clear your mind. And if you do get those intrusive thoughts, you can acknowledge them. But then you can just start the app over again. You can start the podcast or visualization exercise over again. They're usually very quick. So keep finding those tools that work for you and then keep sharing with everyone here, because I know it's similar questions. We're all managing these lifestyle changes and going through the same things. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I just wanted to be sure to say hello sometime in the week. I'm going to try to get back to regular videos. It's been a lot of headspace and clearing my schedule up a little bit as work schedules change. But I appreciate all of you. Keep sending us messages of content you want to hear. Shout out to Barbie and Ken. Please go check out Barbie's advocacy class. And then we will talk to everyone soon. Thank you so much. I am Melissa, the Executive Director of the Support Fibromyalgia Network. See you next time. Bye.